Well, every day in this pandemic, John, we see evidence of independent decision-making in Wales, in Northern Ireland and here in Scotland. And few would doubt that it has changed the political landscape. But more on that in a minute, because one of those big decisions in Scotland, travel bans, from 6 p.m. tomorrow, it will become illegal to go in or out of areas under the highest 2 levels of restrictions without a reasonable excuse. That includes people coming from England, from elsewhere in the UK. It includes cross-border communities. And it's caused something of a row. But Nicola Sturgeon says it's the right thing to do, even if it's not popular. And the polling evidence shows that she herself, Nicola Sturgeon, is remarkably popular in Scotland. And that same polling evidence suggests Boris Johnson is not. And so tonight we bring you 2 exclusive focus groups. We'll go in depth with those crucial no voters who rejected independence in 2014. Have they changed their mind? Is Boris Johnson in danger of losing Scotland?
We don't want another referendum on Scotland, we don't.
The SNP are pushing for a majority in next year's Scottish Parliament elections and for a fresh vote on independence. Could the pandemic interrupt that momentum? Or is the UK as we know it on borrowed time? One after another, opinion polls keep showing majority support for independence. It's a polling trend that's never been seen before. But for there to be a lasting shift in attitudes, people who voted no in the 2014 referendum might have to firmly change their minds. It's a group of voters who could have a profound effect on the future of the UK.
My name's James, and this is a focus group.
The potentially crucial views of 2014 no voters are now being meticulously monitored by all sides. James Johnson held focus groups for former Prime Minister Theresa May.
The key thing really is just be honest.
He's in Glasgow for 2 exclusive focus groups commissioned by Channel 4 News. Beamed in from across Scotland, a panel of 8.
I just want to understand a bit about whether you've changed your mind.
And a panel of 7 voters, all of whom rejected independence in 2014. First up, first impressions. What do these Scots make of Boris Johnson?
Clown.
Pompous.
He's educated.
Buffoon.
Untrustworthy.
Lazy.
Very intelligent.
He's an idiot.
How about Nicola Sturgeon?
Confident.
Slippery.
Sincere but self-interested.
Ulterior motives, always.
Fake.
I would say trying.
Impressive.
Leader.
These panels took place before Boris Johnson had to reaffirm support for Scottish devolution after calling it a disaster. Watching this suggests the Prime Minister was already in some trouble in Scotland. These are voters, remember, who were on his side on the independence issue in 2014.
If you could just put your hand up nice and clearly if you'd be leaning yes to independence. Oh, got 2, yep. OK, we've got John and Michael.
From this group of 15 Scots who voted no, 4 would now vote yes. 4 say they might. More than half, then, are thinking of switching. Why?
I think I can see clearer now. I don't have much respect for a Prime Minister who constantly seeks to divide rather than conquer.
Probably my generation, I think when they voted no because it's a safe option. But now I'm older, it's like, no, I actually want my opinion heard. I want my voice heard. It's kind of, they're looking towards a yes.
Looming large for these no voters is the pandemic. How has it affected their views on Scotland's future?
What we're living through right now and all the restrictions that are so difficult for all of us will not last forever.
She's been up in my estimation since the pandemic. I think her decision making has been much better than Boris.
I was a very big no at the time. Since then, I'm still not decided, but since then, I've got to say she has impressed me with what she's done. She is a good leader and she's a good communicator.
Heart would like to say yes, but head's a definite no. I think the pandemic, I don't think we could have survived this without being part of the UK.
How are things going at the moment in Scotland? Are things going in the right direction, the wrong direction?
I have to say that I'm suspicious of her motives in terms of the way she has led us through this last 6 months or so. I feel that she's been fighting covertly her independence agenda.
Our panels are also thinking about Brexit. Scotland, remember, voted 62% to remain.
Has Brexit made anybody here more keen for independence or not?
I would vote yes now. I think we're being railroaded towards independence because it is our only sort of salvation. I can see a looming disaster for the United Kingdom coming out of Europe.
Less than half of this group say they'd still vote no if a referendum were held today. But there are some hints of potentially fertile ground for Boris Johnson. Anxieties over the currency and economy in an independent Scotland were perceived to be crucial 6 years ago.
What would be the main hesitation in voting yes to independence for you?
Financial, I guess. I think I'd be maybe scared in case it didn't work and then there's no way back.
Financially as well, how strong are we?
I have not seen an economic argument that says it's in our best interest to separate out. If we were to go down that route, scare the wits out of me.
If she's going to sway me that way, I think she's going to have to be very clear about how we're all going to survive.
And then there's the issue of timing.
If the SNP were to win a majority next May and they wanted to go for a referendum, would that be the right thing or the wrong thing?
It would be wrong.
It'd be wrong in this current climate.
Only one of our panel wants a referendum soon.
If Westminster denies that opportunity to have a referendum, then I think that would be pretty poor show based on the fact that across the Commonwealth, now we're part of that Commonwealth, there have been countries who have seized their liberty. The fact that we need somebody else's permission is quite shocking, really.
There's much here that may encourage Nicola Sturgeon, but she will be wary of voter fatigue.
See, when my daughter comes to me at night and she says, "Can I have a biscuit?" and I say no, and then I'm really, really busy and I'm doing something and she comes to me again and she says, "Can I have a biscuit?" I don't want to make a decision when my mind is elsewhere. COVID, the EU, all the other things. I want to make a decision when I have all the facts and I can say, yeah, you can have a biscuit, because right now you've had your dinner. It's the best time.
That makes perfect sense.
In the end, though, there's no hiding the scale of the Prime Minister's challenge with Scottish voters.
Put your hands up if you've got a positive view of Boris Johnson. No hands. OK.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Can Boris Johnson fix the problem? Or could Boris Johnson be the problem?